Now let's look at microlearning. Microlearning is breaking down learning content into small, bite-sized info modules. So as you can see, in the age of bite-sized learning, you got five advantages. One, it improves psychological engagement, uh, can take advantage of the energy ebb and flow. What it really means over here is that there's no force on the learner to go into a classroom to learn. Whenever he or she feels motivated or energetic or in the flow, they have access to microlearning where they can go through the content. And if I were you or you were me, this is exactly how we learn. We learn by our own terms and when exactly we have our flow or creativity as such. So we will look at these in terms of the advantages of going for microlearning. But I was thinking, let's before we go into the content and benefits in terms of what exactly and how exactly it is benefiting us, let's actually look at a uh, microlearning app, right? I think that's the best way to start out this session. Let's have a look at the demo in terms of how exactly companies are creating platforms, helping other corporates to make learning very enticing. So let's look at 7tabs. 7tabs is a microlearning app, and it actually helps us to create content into small bite-sized info modules. So before we go ahead with the content as such, let's look at the demo. So in this demo, you will see a bit of a background in terms of how we all started with e-learning and how the learners actually moved on from there, and corporates now are moving over there. So let's look at 7 tabs.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. The first learning management system was nothing but a typewriter with 5 buttons. With the advent of computers, developers could add cool features to learning management software, and it became increasingly multifunctional. But something went wrong. All this super duper software didn't get one fundamental thing. The way learners learn has changed. Today, people consume information in tweets, 15-second TikTok videos, snaps. 7Taps is hardwired to produce highly engaging courses which look like Instagram stories. Courses can be quick shared via link or email, with stats provided about learner performance. We've seen all sorts of companies design courses that reimagine the way they interact with employees. We've seen small businesses train their workers with basic how-tos, an independent instructional designer building beautiful courses for her customer, a team lead in multinational corporation building a new employee onboarding course. Anyone can make hyper-engaging 7Taps courses in minutes.
Now let's look at the website 7tabs.com. They say makers, doers, learners. Um, so if you have a look at it, there are six aspects to it. Shorter attention span is the new normal. Educator experience should be smooth. Learner experience should be smooth. Good learning is a blend of experiences. No extra graphic design jobs and uncompromised mobility. So you guys can go through the content later. The site 7tabs.com. So if you have a look at the companies, like Pfizer, Netflix, Honda, Merck, and you can read Amazon and Cisco actually using this particular 7 tabs micro learning app. So let's also have a quick look at how easy is it to create, you know, um, and this is available on the site itself, so you can edit it. Okay, you can see that. Now, yeah, the same over here. You can actually go ahead with the next part of it. Then in the third one here, you have the option of editing the image. So if you want to, align to the top or align to the bottom, right, or changing it, you can actually change it. You can duplicate the card, you can move the card right or to the left, and you can actually change the font or hide the title in case you want to. And as you move on to the next card as such here, this is one very interesting aspect. Uh, you know, you can actually come up with the script even on a free version of this app. And when you share the script with 7 tabs, they would actually give you uh, an artificial intelligent robot who can actually talk like
With 7
this,
taps,
right? So that's for me pretty interesting. Uh,
the only design decision you need to
that's
make is to pick one of the pre-made themes or create your own branded one in a minute. Focus on the content and leave the design appeal to us. Go ahead, change the theme for this course. Click Theme in the top right corner.
right.
With
So
7 taps,
such
the
instructions is something which you can actually give short ones for that, and they're going to give you an avatar on its own, and who will actually speak on your behalf. So as she said, let's have a look at the themes over here. There are some of the themes here, so we can select this one, and maybe apply it. Yeah, that's changed. You can create, so going forward you can create a quiz, a pretty quick one for that. You can use an audio file, 60 seconds long, up to 60 seconds long. um, and as I say, it is pretty free, and you can get a link as such, right? So you create these 8 particular cards as such, if you can say that, and have a link and send it across to your staff in regular intervals. So it's pretty easy for them to go through. So I really love 7 Tabs as a microlearning app, and I quickly wanted to show you the demo before we go ahead with the theory. So if you were to look at these age of bite-sized learning, the 5 advantages, and having had a look at 7 tabs, uh, it improves psychological engagement. Taking advantage of the energy-even flow is in the hands of the learners, is good for the brain, working memory, can lead to better learning and business outcomes, and adapts to modern day learners as such. So yeah, I think the demo actually helps you to very quickly identify with what we have seen. In terms of the benefits as such, we know it is learner centric. Learner is at the middle of the design here. It is just in time. Whenever the learner wants, he or she can access it, and it is less time consuming. So taking one by one, learner centric. Learners have an opportunity to choose and learn specifically what they need and whenever they want to. Many times, microlearning is embedded directly into a learner's flow, meaning learning is integrated into their normal routine, reducing friction and helping to instantaneously apply new learned knowledge. Overall, microlearning makes training content personalized and easily digestible, simplifying the learning process and making it flexible for learners. Now let's look at just in time and accessible. This is one of the biggest benefits for the learners. The bite-sized nuggets are available to them precisely when they need it. They're also available on demand. That is, learners can pull them rather than be pushed to go through them. Another advantage of using microlearning in employee training is that since information is delivered in short bursts, it does not fatigue the learners. Rather, it reinforces concepts before they lose interest. And finally, it is less time consuming. The short length courses can be read and comprehended easily. The design formats of microlearning include rich media formats that lead to better retention of knowledge. This again reduces the friction of learning experiences, allowing learners to not lose productivity while learning new skills. With a microlearning training approach that uses short modules, there are very specific outcomes. Learners quickly grasp important concepts and move on to the next bit of information. In the next session, as such, we'll look at some use cases of microlearning and how giant corporates like IBM, Cisco, ADP, and Google have come up with their own learning platforms of microlearning. So we look at 4 different use cases to really understand the power of microlearning and the kind of impact it has made in the next session.